Welcome to the CU Scoop. I'm your host, Phillip Dukes, aka Dukes the Scoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes the Scoop. And please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to become a member, if you would like to support the platform, look in the description of this video, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see a link to become a member. We have various levels of support. We appreciate it all here at the Scoop with Dukes. All right, so national headlines. Shedeur Sanders goes 100 miles an hour. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. Can't believe it. He got a speeding ticket. Chicken Little. The sky's falling. That's crazy. I've never heard a speeding ticket cause this type of ruckus, but this is part of the Sanders effect. You know, we call it the prime effect, but this is the Sanders effect because Shedeur Sanders has been the most talked about sports figure in the past month and a half. So when you look at YouTube numbers, when you look at what's driving content, when you look at how many times the last name Sanders has been in search engines, when you look at what drives engagement, Shedeur Sanders has to be at the top or near the top of the list, guaranteed. All right, so you got a guy by the name of Colin Cowherd, media veteran. We're not even getting on Grossy yet. We'll get to Grossy. But Colin Cowherd, media mogul, does a great job with the volume. Gives a lot of people opportunities. But he had a lot to say about it. He has a 10-minute video, a clip that he had on his show. And you can go look at the clip on YouTube. But I want to go dive into this clip that he has on Twitter. And he clipped it up and it's reposted and it's at the top because he wants people to know his take. And I just thought it was really ironic, some of the things that he said. So let's check that out. Hold on one second. All right, let's check this out.
Shedeur Sanders got caught speeding over 100 miles an hour. Don't minimize it. Don't pander. This is not good for a quarterback. I do not cling to opinions. New information, new opinion. I don't think about them the same. When you fall to 144 in the draft and then try to match that number behind the wheel of a car, I don't think the same. You ignored signs with Manziel and Baker, and apparently, based on the traffic violation, Shedeur was avoiding some signs too, the ones that say stop. I'm not sure he's mature enough. Now I'm going to have to like Kenny Pickett.
This boy here a trip, ain't he? Shout out to Colin, man. Let's get into it. He starts the video out saying, you know, people shouldn't pander. Pandering, right? Let's look up pandering by definition. Pander, what it is to. Okay, cool, Colin. Pander, right? Definition of pander. We're just looking this up right quick. It says to pander primarily means to cater to or exploit the weaknesses or desires of others, often in a way that is considered base or insincere. So when we talk about pandering, and in that clip, we talked about, you know, pandering and how much he doesn't like pandering. And when you go look at the entire video, he says it's like horrible and that he hates that the media panders. How much more base or insincere can you be than someone who is just championing, in your own words, Shedeur Sanders, and now you're quote unquote out on him because of a speeding ticket, right? Or two, or whatever it is, citations that the Browns have said that they've spoke with him about and he'll be taken care of. But now you're out on him. How insincere is that? And people say, oh, and you, Mr. Cowherd, said that people get on you and they talk and you call them fanboys, right? I think that's another bit of pandering because you're a very smart guy, Mr. Cowherd. But for you to go and say that people have things to say to you about you changing your mind. You were in on Shedeur, and now you're out on Shedeur. You said that you were out on Baker Mayfield early on, and even though he's having a great career right now, you still said that you were out on him because of the things that you saw that you did not like. But now you're okay with him because he had to mature. So he can mature, but I knew he was going to have to leave Cleveland, in your words, and so to speak, right? And you also said that you're like an airplane pilot, and when you see a storm, you go the other way, and you have no problem changing your opinion. In this clip, you say, I changed my opinion based on what I see. How sincere can you be with an evaluation to change your opinion about someone's ability to play quarterback based on a speeding ticket being the basis of your opinion of their decision making? We want to talk about pandering. Pandering was that little that little jokey joke you had, right? The little joke you said, like, oh yeah, I guess he was trying to beat 144 to match his draft status. That's how fast he was trying to go. Yeah. That was a little pandering, right? To those who already don't like Shedeur, to those who already have a preconceived notion that Shedeur was nothing but a larger than life character of his father, and the people who didn't like his father should not like Shedeur because he's part of that Deion Sanders tree, who you also in this video that you guys can go check out online. You say, oh, he's just a product of his father who led with his ego. Let's dig into decision making, because you're pandering. Decision making. This is a guy, Shedeur Sanders, Mr. Cowherd, is someone who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. Two very good decisions. Now, how many quarterbacks have we seen drink alcohol? Recently, not too long ago, we saw a quarterback publicly intoxicated after a huge win. That was the consensus. Millions of kids look up to this guy. Didn't hear a word about his decision making. There's another quarterback that takes psychedelic drugs. Don't hear a word about decision making. How many quarterbacks have we seen smoke cigars or tobacco products? Right? We know what the downside to smoking is. Don't hear a word about decision making. Right? But I would venture to say, now, I'm not passing judgment, but just for the sake of this argument, Mr. Cowherd, I would venture to say that these are bad decisions. But for some reason, this speeding ticket has you up in arms about decision making, about someone that, to your own admission, you were just championing. So let's talk about it. How can a speeding ticket correlate to play on the field? I know you're thinking, oh, well, that shows bad decision making. And Mike Tomlin says if you do it twice, that's a trend, and I'm out on them because of this. Well, we have the same amount of general manager experience, correct? Because I don't think you've been one, and I haven't been one either. We have the same amount of Super Bowl wins. You don't have one, and I don't either. Actually, we've won the same amount of Super Bowl of NFL games. We got the same record, 0-0. And I would believe that we are probably both equipped about as well as we could be, or equally as could be, when it comes to making assessments on judgment off the field affecting play on the field. So, Mr. Cowherd, I have a ton of respect for what you do in this space. But for someone who admittedly changes their tune every time they get new information, that seems to be a little insincere, just like the definition of pandering. This kind of how sincere is it for fourth or fifth grader going to, and we're on an honor system where we're grading our own tests. You remember that back in the day, right? And when the teacher tells the answer, you go back and erase it and say, well, I was thinking that anyway. That's disingenuous. That's insincere. But in your world, that's okay. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be married to somebody or you have to be married to a notion because, hey, they're a good football player or not a good football player. But just for the sake of pandering, you basically were out on him. He goes out and he balls out. Now it's, oh, yeah, he's a great quarterback. They should have known better. And now he's got speeding tickets and it's, oh, I'm out on him. Now, if he never gets another speeding ticket and becomes a top flight NFL quarterback, you'll be in on him again. That's what your record shows. My man Uncle Neely always says the best indicator of future performance is past performance. So we know what you do. We know the game you're playing, Mr. Cowherd. You're a really smart guy. You didn't build a multi-million-dollar media empire from not being a smart guy. But if you're going to call out pandering, don't forget to look in the mirror. That's my time for today, folks. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe. See you soon.